Mr. Price, you don't have to say anything, but if you do, now's your opportunity. Anything you want me to know or consider anyway before I impose the sentence, sir? So I'm still waiting on a response, so I apologize. Let's go on the record on Mr. Price's case. This is 15 CR 3425. If I can have appearances, please.
Taylor McCrae for the people. I will note for the record the named victim. The named victim, Mr. Logan, is present in the courtroom today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Price.
Cynthia Fletcher, 33387, advisory counsel for Mr. Price, who is technically pro se.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I apologize for the long delay. Obviously, we've been going pretty steady since 1:30 here, but I apologize that it's taken so long to be able to get the case called. Mr. Price, the case is set for sentencing today. My understanding is you're moving to continue the sentencing?
Yes, sir.
For what reason?
Because I filed a motion, and what I learned from Ms. Fletcher that I guess the motion is not in the system or something like that. And
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Fletcher.
My understanding from talking with Mr. Price is that he filed a handwritten motion to withdraw his plea and that he placed that in the mail this last Monday. I was not aware of this until I talked with him today, so I looked it up in the court system. It is not in the system right now, but he says that he put that or gave it to whoever he does over at the county jail to have it put in the mail on Monday. So it appears that if that was filed, that has not been received and uploaded into the court system and distributed to the parties yet.
Okay. Mr. Price, what is the basis? Why are you moving to withdraw your plea, sir?
because honestly, sir, when I took the plea, I never even read it. I just, the district attorney was, offering me the plea. And man, when they was telling me just the details of it, I just took the plea. I mean, I never even read it or anything. I pretty much took it out of fear, you know what I mean? Because, the situations I've been through, going to prison and stuff, and now that I'm back, like I said, I talked to my family in Tennessee, and they was asking me what I was doing, for us this date. And I was like, man, I'm supposed to get sentenced. And they was like, what stipulations of it? I was like, man, I really, really don't know, man. I just took it, So, as far as with the information, like I really didn't understand the plea. I understand now that I was giving up a lot. So that's why I'm asking for this continuance, and I want you to read this motion whenever you get it, and maybe you can make a decision on it, and we could go from there. But like I said, I didn't even read the plea. It was just more so like, man, with the circumstances, like.
Mr. Price, you know that's not true. The plea signed. I go over it extensively. I ask you if you understand the plea. I ask you about your rights. I ask you if it's a knowing, intelligent, voluntary plea. Under Rule 32D, to withdraw your plea, there has to be a manifest necessity. I don't find there's a manifest necessity. At this point, I'm denying the motion to withdraw the plea, denying the motion to continue sentencing. There was an adult pre-sentence investigation report that was filed here. Did you want to make any amendments or corrections to that report, sir?
So you said you're denying a plea. So you have it? That's what you're saying? The one I wrote up?
Sir, I'm denying your request to withdraw the plea. We're proceeding forward to sentencing. So, people, any amendments or corrections to the pre-sentence investigation report?
No, Your Honor, and specifically, we agree to the pre-sentence confinement credit.
Okay. Any amendments or corrections to the pre-sentence investigation report, Mr. Price?
Amendments?
Yes. Is anything in there you believe is inaccurate?
Well, yeah, as far as I was talking to the investigator. She was saying that I wasn't getting like the time that I served. She said it was inaccurate. That's what she said. Like I said, I didn't even read it. She was telling the investigator, Ms. Bell. She was basically telling me that the time frame that I've done in jail, like it wasn't accurate. So, I mean,
How many days do you believe you're entitled to, sir?
Days or months?
Days.
From what Ms. Bell put, she said that I had 4,200 days and 12, like 4,212 days. That was June 16th. So anywhere from there to what it is now. So I guess like 60 days. So I don't know.
Okay.
4,272 days, I guess.
Right. You said 4,272.
Yeah, that's what Ms. Bell
Okay.
said.
Any other amendments or corrections, sir?
Now that I can think of, like I said, I didn't even go over it, you know what I'm saying? So I can't, not at this point.
Okay. People, any sentencing arguments? And does the victim want to speak prior to imposing sentence?
Your Honor, Mr. Logan does not wish to speak. He does have a statement prepared. I do have to make something abundantly clear. Mr. Logan is objecting to this plea. He does not feel like it is enough time, that it will be enough time served by the defendant. This is Ken Logan's short statement to the court on the sentencing of Jamal Price. Refreshing the court on the incident which occurred at the light rail station at Santa Fe and Mineral the afternoon of Thanksgiving weekend. I was to meet my daughter downtown at the UL Theater. I was in the parking lot when two men approached me and demanded the keys to my truck. I refused. We began to wrestle for a few minutes. They weren't able to gain possession of my keys. They stepped back and pulled guns and told me they would shoot me if I didn't give them my keys. I said, "You don't need to do that because there are cameras." They continued wrestling for the keys and were eventually able to get them from me. I was struck on the head with a gun. They took my truck and left. I was brought to the hospital and needed 21 staples in the head. Part of being an American is having the privilege to go out and feel safe without anticipating violence or assault. So to be brutally attacked and threatened to be shot is a horrible experience, and I feel it's important he be incarcerated fully so our streets and community remain safe. This is why we are here in court today, to serve justice. I hope the court recognizes the deliberate brutality of this attack and how it has affected me since it happened, and still after 10 years, no closure. It has caused me to be uncomfortable around certain people and has affected my family. One of my children will not be bringing the grandchildren to my house if he is not incarcerated. There has been many subpoenas and letters from the DA's office repeatedly delaying the trial for one reason or another. I only wish for justice to finally be served to its full extent, and he serves the full sentence without exceptions. This will finally give me the closure that I deserve. Thank you. May I have a moment to confer with Mr. Logan?
Sure.
Your Honor, even with Mr. Logan's objection, the people are asking that you accept this plea and impose the full sentence of 25 years with the mandatory parole of 5 years. This case is so incredibly old. The history of this case is tortured, tired, taking many twists and turns. I know the court is familiar with them, and they are certainly not the court's fault. At this point, this case needs to end. I worry that continuing on to trial not only jeopardizes the conviction of the plea, but also but as any trial has risk. The people not prior to extending this plea, but prior to putting this plea before the court, did a final assessment of the case, and we did decide that in good faith, we could have announced ready at the trial setting. This plea was asked for by the defense. This plea is one of the original numbers. This plea fits within the original charges that were filed with this case. Unless the court has any further questions, I am asking that he be sentenced, as the plea says, to 25 years with mandatory parole of 5 years. Furthermore, I'm also asking that the court impose the pre-sentence confinement credit that it says in the PSI. When the plea was originally drafted, when the people calculated out the amount of pre-sentence confinement, we calculated out 3,715 days. There was some debate about that. We agreed to confirm the amount of pre-sentence confinement on the date of the PSI. Given the amount of time elapsed between the PSI and now, I believe the PSI is calculated credit time served is accurate. So I would ask that the court use that number. Unless the court has any further questions, I have nothing further.
I don't. Mr. Price, you don't have to say anything, but if you do, now's your opportunity. Anything you want me to know or consider anyway before I impose the sentence, sir?
Yeah, as far as that 3-year tail, 5-year tail, I thought it was supposed to be 3 years.
5-year mandatory period of parole, sir.
Yeah, and yeah, like it's
But
been
that was from the paperwork you didn't read, right?
right.
Okay, go ahead.
As far as this sentence, I just want to say for the record, the district attorney know, everybody in the court knows what's going on with this case, and it's been like evidence hid. I'm gonna just say this honestly, that the CBI and the police department, they planted that evidence, and that's why I'm representing myself, because I wasn't, I didn't have the proper representation because of this situation. Like, I mean, the truth came to light, but being that, I don't have the money for a lawyer, okay, yeah, I'll take the plea or whatever, whatnot. But Judge, I know you can see through this. Like you said, you've been doing this for 24 years. It don't coincidentally happen that, that you have CBIs, tampering with evidence and stuff like that. And like I said, as far as like, the situation, it's just been a lot going on, and I'm pretty sure they want to get this resolved. I want to get this resolved. And like I told you, I didn't even read the plea, because why would I read the plea? And I know what really happened. So at this point, you can sentence me. I'll do whatever I got to do, but at the end of the day, like I said, the CBI, the police, they planted that evidence, and it is what it is, and you can sentence me.
Well, Mr. Price, throughout the pendency of this case, you have represented yourself at various times throughout the case in the original trial. You've been defiant throughout this entire process. And frankly, sir, you have at times used the system to try to delay this case. And you played games through the legal system because you are someone who's very, very familiar with the legal system. And through this, even now at the end, when you're claiming you never read the plea, you didn't understand it, it is in direct conflict with exactly what happened at the plea colloquy. I do it the same way every single time. Ask you if you understand the plea, if that's what you want to do, whether it's stipulated, you then go through it. I confirm there's anything else you've not been provided as part of the plea agreement. I ask if that's your signature throughout it. I go over your rights extensively. You're advised of the elements of the plea. You ask if you understand them, if you understand your rights, and if you want to enter the plea. I ask if it's knowing, intelligent, voluntary, whether or not anyone has forced you to enter it, whether or not you're under any sort of drugs. And now, again today, and respectfully, Mr. Price, you are now trying to recreate things as you've had throughout the pendency of the case. Mr. Price, here's the thing. Not at one point have you said the word sorry to that man for what you did. You won't even look at him.
I mean, is that what you asked me to do?
Mr. Price, I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm just saying you have not done that. In addition, you are a habitual criminal. You've been in and out of the criminal justice system extensively throughout your adult life. And Mr. Price, here's the ultimate thing. You may not like what I'm having to say, but it's going to be true. You've got to decide what you want your future to be. Because if you don't change your ways, you will spend the rest of your life in prison one way or another. I don't want that for you, Mr. Price. You can roll your eyes all you want, but ultimately, sir, if you don't change your ways, you're going to continue in this process. Mr. Logan, I'm sorry about what happened to you, sir. I'm sorry the legal process has been so drawn on and it's been so difficult for you to be able to move on and get this case behind you. I want you to know that obviously there were times I felt like I had to continue this trial and I didn't have a choice. But ultimately, I'm hopeful now at this point, the case for you will finally come to an end. Mr. Price, based upon the agreed and stipulated plea agreement, I will sentence you to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. There's a 5-year mandatory period of parole. Mr. Price, as the pre-sentence confinement, at the original plea, original sentence, you were given 1,174 days of pre-sentence confinement. You were sentenced on July 3rd, 2019. From July 3rd, 2019 to today is 2,599 days. Adding 1,174 plus 2,599 That is how probation got to 3,773 days. Now, if you believe you're entitled to more, you can certainly file a motion challenging that. But at this point, I agree with probation's assessment and time frame that that's the pre-sentence confinement you're entitled to. I will not impose any sort of fine. There are some mandatory court costs. There is cost of prosecution of $1,047.70. You've agreed to as part of the plea agreement. I will find there's no restitution. Mr. Price, you may serve less time than the sentence I've just imposed based upon good time, earned time, and other calculation credits. But at this point, that's the sentence I've imposed. Deputies, please remove Mr. Price from the courtroom.